Ladies and gentlemen, what do Diana Ross, Billy Joel, Stevie Wonder, John Mayer, Mark Anthony, Jennifer Lopez, Gloria Estefan, Ray Charles, the original Blues Brothers Band, and many other world-famous artists all have in common? You guessed it, they have all called on members of the Funk Filharmonik to play in their bands.
Hi, what you're about to see is a Funkumentary on the Funk Filharmonik.
And how we got to this point 30 years later.
Sit back and watch.
Sitting here with the famous Funk Filharmonic. So tell us, guys, how did this all come to be?
This band came to be, when I was in college, I had a band that I put together, and we started touring Canada. It was like a 6-piece band, a couple of horns. I added another horn, it became a 7-piece band. We did Michael Jackson, we did all the horn stuff of the day. After I finished touring, I came back to Long Island, and all my friends are gone. I'm like, wow, either they went to college, or they moved, or whatever. And so I decided, let me join this band, Brick Mango Orchestras, and they had a lot of musicians in there. And I met Al Stewart, who's the sax player. Went to his house, I told him my idea. I said, look, I want to start a band, a huge band, and I want it to sound just like the records. He says, man, I had played in this band that the guys want to do the same thing. They've been talking about doing the same thing. I said, you got to introduce me to these guys. They took me to Canterbury's, and then that's how I met Lee.
Well, that's where I was playing with the Jim Pin band with Rich Ebler on bass, who was a Tower Power maniac and had been pushing me for years to play that music. And I never, I listened to it, but I've never really, schooled myself on it. And then Ozzy came down and Alex and Rich said, we have to do this. I went home and I put on some of this music. I was like, oh, we have to do this. And then we assembled like the best guys we could find on the island.
It was really a godsend though, because when Al brought me to you guys, I mean, look, funk is drums and bass. So when I walked into Canterbury's and I heard you guys playing, I said, oh my God, this is a dream come true. These are the two guys that have to be there. I went home that night and did 5 arrangements of Tower Power tunes. I think I did Don't Change Horses, I did Squib Cakes, I did Oil, and 2 other ones. I can't remember which ones they were. And then these guys put it together, they got the rehearsal.
Well, we used to play Monday nights, and then we decided, what's everybody doing tomorrow, Tuesday mornings, afternoon? And we went to Dave Noyes' studio, Syntrax, right in Huntington, every Tuesday, and we each chipped in $2, and we rehearsed for 3 hours. And every week, Ozzy would bring charts, Vinny would bring some charts.
Vinny did some great charts.
Yeah. Vinny Cinquemani, Alex Stewart wrote some charts. It was a rehearsal band from the start. It was a bunch of guys that loved this music, and we met on Tuesday afternoons and had a blast. The very first gig was a Thursday, November 21st, 1985. And as musicians, a lot of us have those moments in our career, in our life, where you just remember a gig. I'll never forget that night. And the place was packed, and the band was killing. We were so rehearsed. We were ready to,
We kind of knew what was going to happen as far, musically, because we had been rehearsing it. I think the audience was more surprised than anything. We knew we had something after that night. We were like, this is going to happen. Yeah. And look at us now, 30 years later, it's still happening. And we knew it kind of that night.
The first night we played, there was a line around the block. And
at the Brokerage Pub.
And that went on for 15 years.
Every last Thursday of
every
month was Funk Filharmonic at the Brokerage.
It was it was almost too good to
now
be
we do
true.
the last Thursday of the year.
Yeah.
Things, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's hard because everybody's touring now, so it's hard for us to play as much. We would love to keep playing. Oh my God, it would be amazing if we could play as much as we did back then.
So many years, we had such a fan base. People used to come. They loved the music that we covered, but people used to come. When are you guys doing your own thing? You guys should do your own thing. You're killing it. It's amazing. Do your own thing. Do your own thing. And then,
I mean, we were just so content playing that music. That was the original intent of this band, was to play the Tower of Power, the Earth, Wind & Fire, all the great horn stuff. We never thought about doing originals. Your brother kept breaking my chops. Come on, we gotta do a new CD. Come on, we gotta do a CD. We gotta do a CD. And I know what it entails to do a CD.
I'll sacrifice the world till the end, yeah.
At that time, I was the only one with a studio. So I guess it fell upon me. And I finally broke down. I told Steve, you know what? All right, look, I'll do we'll do like a 3-album, a short, whatever you call that. Like a short one. Yeah. I'll write 3 songs and that's it. But 3 songs led into all this stuff.
Now just about all entities, oh baby, can't you see?
I sat in my studio and I wrote nonstop, and I can really say this, 16 hours a day. My family hated me. I was downstairs, I don't say they hated me. They never saw me. Just wrote, did them all demo-wise, played everything demo-wise, with the sounds. I played the drums, did the bass, did the horns and this and that, sent it out to everybody. And then while I was out on tour, I would put everything into Finale so I can send the charts out to everybody. So now the band had the demos, and then they had the charts. And then little by little, I would bring everybody in one at a time. So I would call Lee in, I would mute the drums that I had there, and he would play to it. He would add his thing to it, obviously. We would make it more, instead of it being so square, the demo that I had. Musically it was there, but of course it was all programmed. So it was kind of square. I would bring him in, and he'd be done. Then I'd call Jack in, and I'd mute the bass that I had, add his thing to it.
he took turns one at a time kicking our butts. It was like, it's your turn to go get your ass kicked by Ozzy Melendez, because he knew what he wanted. He had a vision, and it was one of the best educational ass kickings I've had in a long time. Thank you.
I don't think I could ever do that again. It was just like one of those moments in time that it all came together. Honestly, sonically, it's not the best sounding CD, because we used mics from here, we used mics from there. You know, we used maybe a drum mic for a trombone. Or, you know, we didn't have a lot of stuff. My studio doesn't have a lot of stuff, and so we did the best we could with what we had. But musically, I know I am, and I think the band is really proud of what we did on that CD. That's the thing, we all love this music, and the audience loves it. It's powerful, you know, there's 5 horns up front in your face immediately. You know, it's not like there's any synthesizers going on. I mean, you know, there's synth parts, but not playing horn parts. I won't allow it. And so, you know, when people hear that, it's just very exciting. You know, the full rhythm section, the singers. You know, we have amazing singers. Tom Bowes, Brent Carter used to sing with us. Sandy Rose used to sing with us. Timmy Lawless. These are all like top-notch guys, and they were all in this band. And a lot of them actually moved up to sing with Tower Power eventually, which is actually pretty cool too.
Which, the other thing is, any Funk Philharmonic fan can tell you this, and I could tell you this. I think sometimes we have more fun on the bandstand than anyone in the room, but it's contagious. And that joy and the camaraderie, the brotherhood, for 30 years, it's like, it's so deep. Yeah. You know guys' families, and you know their insides, and it's just it's very personal, and that all comes out in the music.
I mean, look at this. It's 30 years, and we still have, I think this is a full house tonight. I'm hoping it's a full house. People watching us, I don't know. But I mean, it's been 30 years. If we wouldn't have the people coming to the show, I mean, maybe we do rehearsals here and there just for the fun of it. I actually doubt that because everybody's kind of busy. And so when we do get together, it's pretty special.
But one of the best gigs we ever did, Ozzy took us over to Sweden and we opened for Ray Charles.
Some of us actually got to play with Ray Charles too that night.
And it was just going over there with this band of brothers, well, you know, was better than the gig. But then the gig was just incredible. The venue was outdoor stage.
Actually, the best gig that we're going to have is tonight. Applause, applause, applause. Without the fans, we wouldn't have made it this far. On behalf of the Funk Filharmonic, I'd like to say thank you so much for, thank you so much for being there for us for the last 30 years and as well as tonight. And we'll keep going. I'm not sure what's going to happen after tonight, but we are sure going to try and keep making great music, and we hope that you guys will be there.